Ever wondered how essential salt is in our daily lives? This humble compound, often taken for granted, plays a crucial role in our existence. It's not just about adding flavor to our meals. Salt is instrumental in food preservation, halting the growth of bacteria and thereby enabling us to store food for extended periods. But the importance of salt goes beyond the kitchen. It's also a vital component for our health. Salt aids in maintaining the electrolyte balance in our bodies, supports nerve and muscle function, and plays a pivotal role in hydration. Yet, can you imagine a time when this fundamental ingredient was a luxury? A commodity so significant yet burdened with the weight of taxation. Something as common and essential as salt was once a highly taxed item in India. Imagine having to pay a tax for something as basic as salt. Well, in 1930s India, this was a reality. In 1882, the British colonial government in India enacted a law that shook the nation. This was the infamous Salt Act, a policy that would resonate in the annals of India's history as a striking emblem of colonial oppression. The Salt Act was a strategic move by the British Empire, designed to strengthen their economic hold over the subcontinent. But what was this act really about? In essence, it was a law that granted the British a complete monopoly on the production and sale of salt within India. Salt, a commodity as basic as it is essential, was something that every household in India needed, irrespective of their social or economic status. By monopolizing this vital resource, the British effectively controlled a significant part of the Indian economy. But the Salt Act didn't stop at just monopolizing salt production. It also prohibited Indians from producing or selling salt on their own. This meant that local salt makers, who had been relying on this trade for generations, were suddenly left without a source of income. The Indian people were forced to buy expensive, heavily taxed salt from the British, deepening the economic divide between the colonizers and the colonized. The implications of the Salt Act were far-reaching. It wasn't just about the financial burden imposed on the Indian people. The act also represented an affront to their dignity and the right to self-determination. It was a stark reminder of the British dominion over India, a tangible symbol of their oppressive rule. The Salt Act, then, was more than just a tax. It was a systematic strategy to subjugate an entire nation, to control its resources, and to undermine its people's livelihoods. It was a stark symbol of British oppression, and it would go on to spark one of the most significant civil disobedience movements in history. But that's a story for the next scene. The Salt Act was more than just a tax. It was a symbol of British oppression. This injustice sparked a flame in the heart of one man, Mahatma Gandhi. Amid the turbulence of British rule in India, a figure of peace and resilience emerged. Known as the Mahatma, or the Great Soul, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was a beacon of hope for millions of Indians during their struggle for independence. Gandhi was not just a political leader, he was a visionary whose philosophy of satyagraha, or truth force, was grounded in the principles of non-violence and civil disobedience. He believed that the path to freedom was not through bloodshed, but through peaceful protest and unwavering determination. In Gandhi's eyes, the Salt Act was not just a law, it was a symbol of British oppression, a symbol that dictated what the people of India could consume, even in the confines of their own homes, a symbol that imposed a heavy tax on a basic necessity, salt, that was as essential to life as air and water. Gandhi saw an opportunity in the Salt Act. He saw it as the perfect emblem against which to rally his fellow countrymen in a peaceful protest. But why salt? Why not something else? Well, the genius of Gandhi's choice lay in its universality. Salt was a simple, everyday item used by rich and poor alike. By challenging the Salt Act, Gandhi was not just challenging a law, he was challenging a system of oppression that permeated every stratum of society. Gandhi's decision to resist the Salt Act was not taken lightly. It was a calculated move designed to unite the masses in a common cause. He knew the risks, he knew the potential consequences, but he also knew that this was a battle that needed to be fought. Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance was more than just a strategy. It was a way of life. It was a belief in the power of truth, the strength of unity, and the potential of peaceful protest to bring about change. Gandhi knew that challenging the Salt Act would be a powerful symbol of resistance against British rule. And so, the stage was set for one of the most iconic acts of civil disobedience in history, the Dandi March. On March 12, 1930, Gandhi and his followers embarked on a journey that would make history. This was the beginning of the Dandi March, a march that would resonate across the world and serve as a beacon of civil disobedience against oppressive regimes. The march commenced from the peaceful precincts of the Sabarmati Ashram, a place that had been Gandhi's home and the nerve center of his freedom movement. With 78 followers, Gandhi set out on a journey that would cover a distance of 240 miles. Their destination, the coastal village of Dandi in the state of Gujarat. The goal was simple, yet profound, to break the unjust salt laws imposed by the British. As Gandhi and his followers treaded the dusty trails, word of their march spread like wildfire. People from all walks of life joined in, swelling the ranks of the marchers. The initial band of 78 soon became a sea of humanity, united by a shared purpose. What began as a march transformed into a movement, a testament to the power of peaceful protest. Every day, Gandhi addressed gatherings along the route, instilling in people the spirit of Swaraj, or self-rule. He spoke about the injustices of the salt tax, about the importance of non-violence and the power of unity. These speeches served as a fuel, igniting the flame of resistance against the British Raj. The journey was not easy. The marchers faced numerous challenges, from harsh weather to physical exhaustion. But their resolve remained unshaken. They walked through villages and towns, across fields and forests, under the scorching sun and pouring rain. Gandhi, despite his age, led from the front, embodying the spirit of resilience and determination. As they neared Dandi, the anticipation grew. The march, which had captured the imagination of the world, was nearing its climax. On April 5, 1930, after 24 grueling days, they reached their destination. The village of Dandi, usually a quiet, sleepy hamlet, was abuzz with activity. The air was thick with excitement and anticipation. Gandhi, with his followers around him, walked towards the Arabian Sea. He bent down, picked up a lump of natural salt, and held it up for all to see. In that moment, he had symbolically broken the Salt Act, defying the might of the British Empire. The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices echoing across the vast expanse of the sea. After 24 days and 240 miles, Gandhi and his followers reached Dandi. The Dandi March had come to an end, but its impact was just beginning. This act of civil disobedience sent a clear message to the British Empire and the world. India would no longer tolerate the yoke of imperialism. It marked a significant milestone in India's struggle for freedom, a march that would forever remain etched in the annals of history. The Dandi March was more than a protest against the Salt Act. It was a turning point in India's fight for independence. The immediate impact of the Dandi March was electrifying. It stirred the Indian population, igniting a spark of defiance and unity that spread like wildfire throughout the subcontinent. The act of making salt, a seemingly simple task, had become a symbol of resistance against the British Raj. It was a clear message to the British Empire. The people of India were ready to defy unjust laws. But the influence of the Dandi March didn't stop at India's borders. The world watched in awe as thousands of Indians, led by a man advocating non-violence, challenged an empire. Newspapers and radios across the globe relayed the story of Gandhi and his marchers. The global attention put pressure on the British government, highlighting the injustice of the Salt Act and the broader issue of colonial rule. The Dandi March also played a crucial role in inspiring other movements for change. Martin Luther King Jr., a key figure in the American civil rights movement, often cited Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance as a major influence. The march demonstrated to the world that peaceful protest could be a powerful tool for social and political change. In the long run, the Dandi March was a significant catalyst in the fight for Indian independence. It galvanized the Indian National Congress and the general public into action, leading to a series of protests, strikes, and acts of civil disobedience that eventually culminated in India gaining independence in 1947. Today, the Dandi March remains a symbol of resistance, resilience, and the power of peaceful protest. It is a reminder that even in the face of oppressive laws and regimes, individuals and communities can come together to drive change. The Dandi March was a testament to the power of peaceful protest. It showed the world that change could be achieved without violence, and it remains a symbol of resistance and resilience to this day.